I also made the case for owning Bitcoin, the quintessence of scarcity premium. It's literally the only large tradable asset in the world that has a known fixed maximum supply. By its design, the total quantity of Bitcoins cannot exceed 21 million.
Bitcoin is the hardest money that has ever been invented.
If you don't have my private key, you cannot spend my Bitcoin, period. And this is the power of Bitcoin.
It's the first time we figured out how to create true property that you can take possession of with full custodial rights.
Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to Solo Rip number 35 here on the Talking in Bits podcast. I've been hearing a lot from y'all, man, and I know you guys love these solo rips, and I appreciate y'all for that. Gonna make a lot of big changes. First one I want to announce here is that I'm actually in Thriller Studios here in Pleb Labs, 6 Austin. You guys can't see him, but he's behind the camera. And we got Carr here, and Carr is the man. If you guys don't know, check him out. But here we are, Solo Rip 35. You guys know the deal. Nice, concise episode where I try to give y'all some ammunition that you can take, where you take it into your weekends, where you take it to the barbershop, or you take it anywhere you need to go so that you can have these conversations in this clown world that we seem to find ourselves in. But Bitcoin is the clarity, y'all. Bitcoin keeps us clear. Bitcoin keeps us sane. All right, as I usually do, y'all, I'm going to go through some of the boosters. I really don't know what to call the boosters versus the sat streamers. I still want to roll with voters and delegators. If you're a delegate, you boosted to the show. That means you show love to the show and you actually gave me some feedback, whether good or bad. And if you are a voter, you're just basically streaming to the show. And that is also loved and appreciated here. So let's start from the very beginning. Earlier today, Gene, you had to go over to Breeze. I don't know what's wrong with Fountain, man. Fountain continues to have their fair share of problems. Oscar, what's going on, man? I don't know if you guys are going to address these issues. I know you guys are good at feedback. I know you guys are good at trying to solve things for the people, but Gene is an avid listener to Talking a Bit. And earlier today, he actually had to go over to Breeze because Fountain was giving him all types of hell. Gene, if you haven't already, reach out to the Fountain team. They're actually really good at figuring these things out. But I appreciate you, Gene, so damn much that you were willing to go over to another app just to be able to show Talking in Bits some love. And that's noticeable. And I appreciate every single time you come through. So keep the stats coming. I'm also trying to try out like Caster.io and a few other places. I'll get to that a little bit later. But Gene, or Orchid Hippo, as you named yourself on Breeze, much appreciated for that. Let's keep it going here. The Broken Ruler. I don't remember saying this, Broken Ruler, but it does sound like something I would say. And Broken Ruler boosted and said, every Bitcoiner's mother's mother. That does sound like something I would say, but I'll have to go back to the last solo rip and check it out. And you went ahead to said, dude, in a few years, I'll be able to say that I was early on this Jose guy doing a little show called Talking in Bits. Well, Broken Ruler, that's the plan, man. We don't want to keep it little for much longer, man. We want this thing to expand. We want this thing to grow. And I think the decisions that I'm making for the show, not only offline but online as well, is going to make that happen. So I appreciate you, man. And I look forward to having this conversation when this isn't a little show and when it is a big mainstream show. And you were going to be right. You're early along with most of the other people that I'm naming here. So I appreciate you, man. And yeah, man, every Bitcoin's mother's mother. We're going to have to take care of that. Petri. All right, you don't want the hour solo rep, Petri. I respect that. An hour is a very long time. I don't want these episodes to turn into an hour unless the majority consensus decides that they want to hear me for an hour. I don't even know if I want to hear myself for an hour, but I'll do it if the people want it because there's so much stuff to cover. But Petri said, an hour is heavy. Speak faster instead. I can't speak any faster than I already do. Ask my wife. Trust me, she doesn't like it at all. It's a nightmare. But thanks for the boost, Petri. Appreciate the support. Michael Corleone, I should say. I haven't seen you come around in a long time, so I appreciate you coming back. You know, I always like to applaud my first-time listeners, my last-time listeners. Y'all all appreciate it just the same. Good to see you back, Michael. Michael said, love your rips. And that you don't focus on the day-to-day news like FTX and the pomps of the world. I don't have to focus on them, man. They kind of do a good job of like being clownish and buffoonery on their own, right? So it's one of those things where I don't have to. But yeah, that's on purpose. That's by design. That's a feature of Talking a Bit, not a bug. The taking a step back, philosophical future thinking is where it's at. Keep pumping out content and doing good work. Make Gigi a reoccurring guest if he has the time. You guys might vibe well. Hey, Michael, it's funny that you say that. So when I saw your boost, I reached out to Gigi. I have, with me and Gigi talk every now and then. And I just shared the screen cap of what you said. And Gigi's actually on like a podcast hibernation. He wants to work on writing. He wants to work on some of the things that we know Gigi to be best at, right? Even though we love him on the podcast. But he did say early next year, Talking in Bits is on the agenda, and that I could try to reach out and we could try to make something happen. So you will get that third Gigi appearance on Talking in Bits sometime early next year, hopefully. Gene, when you were on Fountain, gave a big boost, 33,333 sats. Can somebody explain to me what the 333 sat thing is? Like, I love it. Don't get it twisted, but is it just because the numbers start to line up and it makes sense? What is it? Is it something that I missed? Is it probably like I'm going to say Curie, and I know Carr's back there probably thinking I'm nuts, but yeah, I say Adam Curie, even though it's Curry. I get it. But is that something that Adam Curie made up? Like the 3333? I see that happening a lot, but I appreciate it, Gene. That's a big boost there. I see what you did there. Solo Rip 33, 33, 33. I got you. I appreciate that love. That's real. Let me know if it's something different. Bubba, man, ever since I met you in person a few weeks ago, you've been a real one, man, and I appreciate everything that you're doing and all the love that you give to everybody. And many don't know, but Bubba was one of the originators of the I Don't Give a Fuck type podcast, and we were talking about that when we met. So shout out to Bubba. Bubba says he was listening to the Jason Rick episode. Great in-depth info. Keep it up. Jason Rick is amazing. If you guys don't know Jason Rick from Rick Ranches out in Colorado, you should definitely check out Jason Rick. Bubba and the Solo Rep 32, keeping my ass awake, man. Middle of the night. Thank you. Hey, Bubba, man, you doing, I don't know, is it God's work? I don't really know, but you're a truck driver out here, man, making sure that we get connected and making sure we get all the resources and the things that we need. And my father-in-law was actually a truck driver, and probably one of the most difficult jobs that exist in this world. And you're extremely underrated, and I appreciate you, good sir. So, yeah, stay awake out there. And if Talking in Bits is the reason you're staying awake out there, that's all love, man, and I want to make sure that you know that. So thanks for the support, man. I know you gave like a third of your stack to like the scholarship fund for Jason Rick and all that. That's all humbling. That's all a beautiful thing. All right, that's it for the delegates. Let's go to the voters, which, if you guys don't know, and I just repeat it for the new listeners, the voters are just simply when you stream sats, and that means that you don't make your opinion heard. You don't put any messages in there. You basically just stream some sats, and then the delegates are the ones that actually give some input and feedback. And there is a universe, as you're about to hear, where you can be both. So Gene, much love. Bubba, much love. Petri, much love. Dirty Jersey Horror, always appreciate you. MGB256, appreciate you. Welcome back. I think you kind of took a little hiatus. Rage as fuck. I always see you, good sir. Appreciate you. Michael Corleone, welcome back. Appreciate you. The Broken Ruler, The Wild Hustle, Zentags, Fiat Bad, Hot Potato Head. I appreciate you all for the love. I appreciate you all for the boost and the sats streamed to the show. This show, as you guys know, is 100% funded by y'all. So you guys have a big say in this. Reach out to me. Boost. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know where we want to take this so we can take this to the next level. All right, on to the topics here for Solo Rip 35. I'm going to start out with something podcasting 2.0 related, and Adam Curry, right? I'm going to say that right, just so I don't get laughed at here in the corner. I appreciate you, Car. Live streaming with podcasting 2.0. So there's a little message here that Adam put up, and it's a clip from, I'm assuming is a written document or documentation for podcasting 2.0 that says live streaming audio and video doesn't have to be proprietary or rely on huge platforms for distribution. You can live stream your podcast right now, and podcast apps can start playing these streams today using the tag podcast live item and the podding notification system, pod ping notification system. The details are a bit nerdy, but let's dig in and let's see how it all works. So that was news to me because, as you guys know, I'm very big on this 4K content that we push here on Talking in Bits. And although I do think that pertains to live streaming, meaning like, you know, when you go live and you guys are watching this in real time, as opposed to me just recording it and editing after, I already see the avenue or the situation where that can apply to both places, not only live streaming, but previously recorded content. And this is actually a solution that I think Bitcoin TV should have already done a long time ago. And I don't understand the logistics of how difficult it is. So I don't want to act like I'm a smart ass dude that can figure out how to get Lightning on video channels. But you know, a lot of us creators, especially in the Bitcoin space, we work hard on this video. We don't just like to do the audio experience. We like to give a video experience. And that's extremely important. But we're not really getting rewarded in them sats, right? Or getting any donations from y'all for the video, only for the audio. And I think that needs to change. A really good example of a mainstream app is Spotify, right? So when I upload these episodes, if you were to listen to me on Spotify, which you should never do, but if you happen to be listening to me on Spotify, you can actually open up your phone and you're going to see the video, right? So you can watch the video along, or you can have it in your earbuds and listen to the audio. And that's something that Anchor and Spotify and that whole conglomerate over there does on the fly. You can upload a video, they'll split the audio, and then you can watch the video. Well, here in the Mecca of builders, Pleb Labs, right? I would love to have somebody address or work or explain how difficult it would be to get that same thing on a Fountain app, right? Or a Breeze app or Caster.io. I like to tell you all that this podcasting 2.0 thing needs to remain decentralized. And although I love Fountain, and although I love to tell you guys to go there, there's many other podcast app creators that are doing fascinating things. And I'm actually going to get into that here because Adam actually reached out to me because I told him that this is big, and I asked Fountain and Breeze when this was going to be happening. And Adam told me that Podverse and CurioCaster is already doing this. So this goes on, and I'll post this link in the show notes. This goes on the thread that I actually asked, well, where's Minds? Because when I go over to CurioCaster and I look up Talking in Bits, I don't see any video files there. And what I found out is, you guessed it, Anchor is nonsense, Anchor's bullshit, and Anchor's a conglomerate. So although I'm uploading my MP4s to Anchor, they are holding them hostage and making them proprietary to them. The problem with that is A, I didn't know that. And B, these podcasting 2.0 app developers that are creating these playgrounds for us to be able to share our content now are not being able to receive these video feeds coming from Talking in Bits. That pissed me the hell off. So much so that I'm already working on an alternative to get off of Anchor. Now, I've been trying to get off of Anchor for quite some time, but considering that the RSS feed is still picking up, on podcasting 2.0 apps, the urgency wasn't really there for me. I was like, when I get to it, I'll get to it. Plus it requires a little bit of rewiring to get my RSS feed away from Anchor and into something like Transistor or something like that. But the innovation is really happening over here on podcasting 2.0. And if I am to be as bullish on podcasting 2.0 as I say I am, I need to do two things. And I'm working on both of these. I need to fully support podcasting 2.0 and all of the developments that are happening underneath it, which is video is one of those. But I also need to host my own podcast from my own server. And that can happen with Zeus, right? Well, not Zeus itself, but Evan from Zeus has created an alternative to that. And I believe, I haven't looked much into this, the BTC Pay server dudes have created, Car's over here shaking his head, so that's correct, right, Car? Yeah. Yep. So they got this thing, and then I just received, and this is kind of doxing myself, but it's all good because I want y'all to share the journey with me. I just received my Embassy Suite Pro from from Start 9, and the idea is that I'm going to be able to try to do that from that Start 9 server and be able to do that soon. Once I get there, this is when I'm fully 2.0 and I'm away from these legacy outlets and these Spotifys of the world. Follow the thread along with on the show notes. CurioCaster actually, or is it Podverse? One of these Podverse actually came out and tried to help me out and basically say, hey, I don't really see what's going on. They also went on to say that that Spotify is actually intending. Let me read this verbatim. Since Anchor was purchased by Spotify, they're trying to move people off of RSS feeds and lock them into Spotify exclusives. Well, if you guys scroll up to the very top of my pinned message on my Deathbed account, you're going to notice where I stand, and it's RSS feeds plus Lightning equals free speech. So Spotify, if y'all really trying to pull that off, I don't know if you are, but if you are, go fuck yourselves, because you're destroying free speech by getting rid of the RSS feed. I don't know if that's true. Podverse, whoever's behind that account seems to think it's true. Let's fight that as much as possible. If you're a content creator RSS feeds is the way you stay alive and you stay decentralized. Mix that with Lightning, you get free speech. Don't let them change your mind on that. Those are the two weapons, tools, whatever analogy you want to use to keep our speech decentralized and free. Keep that in mind. So that was an interesting topic there. This is one that I'm actually going to play here, and hopefully you guys can hear this, but this is, I don't even know who this lady is. She's lying under oath, though. That's what Dear Gigi was pointing at her. So y'all hear this and let me know what y'all think about this. Let me pump this up.
But in fact, it's not decentralized.
Start from the beginning.
I see no reason. The reason we typically hear is that crypto is different because it's decentralized. But in fact, it's not decentralized. At every level, there are people controlling things. So, we heard that that Bitcoin was decentralized. Well, Bitcoin is controlled by a few core software developers, fewer than 10, and they can make changes to the software, and then that software is implemented by mining pools, and there's just a few of them. So in all these spaces, there are definitely people, often a very few people, pulling the strings. But the fact of the matter is that they are unidentified and unregulated, and that is not an ideal space to be in.
Yeah.
All right, y'all just heard that lady speak nothing but buffoonery there. I mean, this lady's talking about, she knows nothing about Bitcoin. You can tell. She continues to do the same mistake that all these fiat governors and all these fiat lizard people, what I call them, are fall victim to every time. They don't know the intricacies and the way that Bitcoin actually conserves consensus, the proof of work and that whole thing that keeps this truly decentralized. So that lady was basically sitting there just basically saying, well, there's only 10 developers that, work on Bitcoin and, they can make changes whenever they want. And then when they make changes, there's only like a few mining pools. You don't get it. You don't understand it. You don't even try to fake and even attempt to try to understand it. But yet you, for whatever reason, because of this fiat stupid nonsense, are in the position to sit there in front of another fiater. Right? So you got a fiater and a fiater kind of talking to each other, which is absolute nonsense, right? And then you got them basically trying to make laws, regulation, and resist Bitcoin, confusing it with the nonsense that is crypto. And this is just, anybody who's listening to the show understands that this is just absolute nonsense, and you don't need me to tell you that. But every time I see these clips, I have to laugh. And whenever I laugh, I want you to laugh. These people obviously don't understand the weapon or the technology that Bitcoin is and how and if they do get it, this is what they're thinking. Whoa, is this thing a threat to everything that I've built? Right? Because remember, these politicians are usually spending their whole life trying to get to the position that they get in. They have to, kiss asses, and they have to, do some sometimes deceptive things in order to get up the ranks, in order to get into position to own a seat or to be somewhere that, us Bitcoiners laugh and think is comical. But for them, it was like a life journey. They spent like 35, 40 years trying to get to a certain spot. And now they see this weapon come by, right? This technology, this revolutionary freedom number go up technology, right? They see this thing that just puts all that they worked for on limbo. Like, and it can all disappear tomorrow as soon as we go into a Bitcoin standard. So there's two things here. This person is either completely ignorant of Bitcoin or completely threatened by Bitcoin. But the point is that person shouldn't be in that position to begin with, right? If you're for the people, which is what most of these political positions are meant to do, you are for innovation. You are for freedom. You are for helping humanity, the community. You're for all that, right? But these people with these nonsense comments that they have against Bitcoin and this, like, I think, state attack that, you can call FTX and you can call all these things, right? They're basically trying to get the normie or the average person who's on the fence, who just has no idea that the revolution is here, off the fence. They want to psych them out. They want to let them know that, that Bitcoin thing is extremely dangerous and you be careful because, that shitcoin thing is extremely dangerous and you should be careful with that. But if you know anything about Bitcoin, you would understand that it is the safest bet that humanity has had, maybe since the finding of gold, right? Like, it's literally the safety net. And even that wasn't really that safe because then you just have an emperor or like somebody just come into town and with their army and just roll you the hell out of here. So maybe that wasn't as safe. But as we know, You can come into my town and you can't take my Bitcoin. You can roll us the hell out of here, but you still can't take the Bitcoin. So literally what these politicians and these buffoonery clowns need to be talking about is how this technology is the safest bet for your wealth, for humanity. And what they don't understand is with that time preference being, lowered, you basically now can do the things that we all should be doing. And that's taking care of ourselves, taking care of our life, our children, and planning for the future. They don't want you to think that, though. They want you to be scared. They want you to run away. They want you to continue to get loans and go into debt and vote for them because blah, 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 blah. So that clip was hilarious to me because, and I don't even know who this person is. That's the thing. And I'm sure Bitcoin Twitter does. So boost me down below and let me know what her name is, or don't. But it's on CNBC, and we should already know that that's a joke, especially when they start saying things like Bitcoin is centralized, or when they just not say Bitcoin and say all these cryptos. That's AKA to me, I don't know shit about shit. All right, moving along to the next topic. I can't get enough of Eric Cason, man. I've had Eric on the phone. I have talking to him on the phone, but I've had him on the podcast before. And what I really like about Eric, and I've said this something like this before, is like Eric brings out the revolutionary in me. Right? Like, I mean, the world is already kind of doing that, but like, there's some people that speak about Bitcoin and they have different themes, right? There's some lighthearted themes. There's some comparisons to some basic things and all this stuff. Eric doesn't give a shit, right? And Eric is here to basically get on whatever platform he's on. I think in this clip's example, this was in Pacific Bitcoin, and basically let y'all know that the fight is here. This is our stance, and we're ready to be able to win this fight, right? Like, not at this moment, but we're ready, along with supporting developers and along with, doing what we do here at Talking in Bits and educating about Bitcoin. Like, we have that cryptographic tool that's going to be able to separate us from all the nonsense that's happening in the world. So let me play this rip by Eric here. It's always a pleasure to hear him. It's just bullish. I got no other reason to put it on the show besides how bullish it is, by the way. And now we got loading issues here on the phone. Let's see where we get this.
You guys are the revolutionary vanguard of the global monetary movement to free humanity from the perniciousness of fiat. That is a special gift that is given to you alone, and through you taking that seriously, and through you doing the work to tell your friends, your family, and everybody you can about why Bitcoin is the most important thing that is happening in the world today, not because you can get rich or any of this other bullshit about getting your Lambos. This is about freeing humanity so that we have a true system of global law that allows for each and every person to have the same equal rights and ensure that nobody can use a state of an emergency to harm or steal from anyone else moving into the future forever.
Ooh. How could you not be bullish after hearing something like that? Not for the Lambos, but for the freedom of humanity. Listen, we are in a prime position here. Some people will say lucky to be alive. I'm one of those people, extremely lucky to be alive in the time where we can take the power of humanity back. And boy, do we have that spear, man. So every time I hear Eric talk his shit, I am with it. It just sparks me up. It should spark you up because he is absolutely right. And if you contrast that with the previous lady that and I still don't know her name, with the previous lady that I just played, you can see how somebody is so airheadedness and to say, boo, 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 whatever the hell she was saying. And then you get somebody like Eric who has written about Bitcoin for years now and who has talked about Bitcoin, who has worked at Bitcoin companies, who really understands it, can really say that this is our last chance to save humanity from the grips of fiat. And I think that is magnificent. I think it's powerful. And if you're not paying attention, or if that doesn't make you bullish, then you need to go do some more research and due diligence to make yourself more bullish. Every time I get to talk to Eric, whether in person or, on a pod or anything, I always tell him that I appreciate guys like him because, there's the silent killers. There's the guys that move accordingly, build and do certain things. And those dudes are as powerful. But then there's the guys that are just standing there and saying, no, bring it. I'm here, and we're here to save future societies going forward. And I think Eric is one of those guys, and I much appreciate him for that. Now let's move on to the next topic, y'all. I don't really know the details about how this one works. Actually, Carr could give me a little bit more info on Nostr. I've actually been a little bit agnostic to it, and I know it's a big thing that's happening here. Anything quick you can say about Nostr, or is too much to say quick?
It's crazy. Like Jack funded 14 Bitcoin.
That's the topic I got, yeah.
Yeah, so he funded 14 Bitcoin after like 2 days he found out Nostr existed. So, you know, he was working on that, I think it was called the App Protocol, the Blue Sky project.
Yep. Is that decentralized social media? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay.
But you talk to these guys here at Plug Lab, and they all want to work on Nostr, and it's like, why? It's because it's really simple, it's fun, you know, and it's really easy to implement something like these NIPs and create clients for it.
So is Nostr like the platform you can build on? Is that what that is?
Yeah, so it's just a protocol. It's an open protocol similar to Bitcoin. It uses the same pub and private keys.
Really?
Bitcoin. Yeah. So
oh, man.
It's yeah, dude, it's really cool.
All right, well, Carl, you got
that Jack came in today.
No, yeah, that's literally the headline I was gonna say. I don't know much about Nostr, but I know that, you know, Jack continues to like back it up, right? Like a lot of people are still Jack doubters. They still bring up the Twitter days. They still bring up all that nonsense. All I know is that he's being a silent assassin. He's sitting in the background doing the work. He was just at Bitcoin Africa, and then now we're headlines like this, like 240K for Nostr.
There's no incentive for him to do it.
None at all. Yeah, just to continue the innovation is basically what I'm here. So is this to a specific like team, or is this just to like the development?
So Fiat Joff is the one that created the protocol.
Okay.
Right.
Fiat Joff.
He works for like, I shouldn't dox him, but he works for some Bitcoin company.
Sure.
And then, you know, Super Testnet.
Yeah.
He also develops on Nostr. I just talked to
William.
He made Thomas the client, which is the Nostr front end, kind of like Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's super bullish. So all these guys who have been doing the bootstrapping from the beginning since about August or even since last year.
Yeah.
But it really started taking off in August, July.
Wow.
And yeah, you're seeing it now. They're all getting now. There's actually I wrote an article on Thriller Bitcoin, but there's actually a whole plan on how to get those funds out to all the developers that are creating on Nostr.
Nice.
A lot of them are Bitcoiners and Lightning developers.
And that's probably because they just understand the elliptic curve already, right? So it's kind of familiar to them. Right. That's amazing. So yeah, go check out that Thriller article. Where you get the Thriller article? Thriller.com?
So it's on the front page, thrillerbitcoin.com.
Thrillerbitcoin.com. Go check out that article and go to Pleb Lab's Twitter page because Super did a whole workshop on it.
Yeah, dude, an average pleb.
Yep.
Me, you. Doesn't matter who it is. If you know how to use a computer, you can create an Nostr app.
That's fire. Yeah, I'm about to go home and do that. Yeah, like, I that's the innovation there is simplicity, because I think when we were growing up, a lot of the stuff required, like, you needed to be like a computer science major to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. We're going back to the old days of things, of how it was all open protocols.
Yep.
And everything was open, and it started off as just being a fun experiment. Like Bitcoin was fun. It was
Yep.
open. It was, you know, and now it's the same thing. You're seeing that again with Nostr, like 10
Amazing.
years later, but it wouldn't have happened without Bitcoin.
So you think with Nostr we'll succeed at decentralized social media? You think we'll get there? Yeah.
There's too many people already behind it, and then you get Jack in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just hearing about it. I'm bullish, and I gotta do my homework. And now that I'll be around here more often, definitely gonna get plugged in. But that makes me more bullish on like a conversation I was having a few weeks ago where somebody just kept asking me like, "Yo, Elon's about to integrate like Lightning and Twitter," and I was like, "That's such a dead conversation. Like, I could give a damn about what Elon is doing. I mean, boost. Let me know what y'all think, but like, I don't care what Twitter is going, but I do care where Nostr's going, right? Where decentralized social media is going."
Yeah, because you have a bunch of Bitcoin developers and Lightning developers working on it. They make cool shit already. Like,
Right. And that's something that you plugged me into a lot, right? I don't think a lot of people notice how much cool shit people are building. And you're like around it like every single day. And every time I see you or like come into this building, it's always that. It's like, I don't want to show love to the big companies because they jump on Lightning later, or because like that doesn't mean anything to me. That just means that somewhere in their marketing team board, they sat there and was like, "Hey, we could get a really big segment of people if we just add Lightning integration." But like the real people that are building the most innovative things is the average pleb. It's amazing, dude. Yeah. So I gotta brush up on Nostr. Y'all brush up on Nostr. Carr already did that, so you wouldn't have to go through that, right? Like, yeah. He soaked it up. He's giving you podcasts. He's giving you writing. He's giving you workshops. He's provided everything you need to go. And like he said, I don't know if you can hear him much in the background. I think you can. But like, even if you don't have computer science skills. And remember, you could be like me and be the loudmouth, or like Eric and be the loudmouth, or you could change Bitcoin from within and you can start developing with these resources that Pleb Labs and Cars is providing for y'all, these free resources, right? That workshop is free.
There's free workshops on Pleb Lab, and then you also could even sign up for that Udemy course. We're trying to move away from Udemy because we're trying to do lightning tips.
Yeah.
Get there next year. But you can go get a Udemy course and you literally create your own lightning app in 6 hours.
That's amazing.
Pleb to death. That's 2023, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna repeat that just in case the mic didn't catch it. But you can go get the Pleb Dev course, which is on Udemy. But they're trying to get away from Udemy and start, getting Lightning payments for that. But you can build a Lightning app in 6 hours, y'all. Like, if you would have told me that a month ago, I would have told you were full of shit. But I can't tell you that because it's in real time. You can go get it, the Udemy course. Check out the workshops. Check out everything that's happening here. You guys know that I don't even show. This isn't even an ad. This is just the way we win, right? That's more important to me than shilling. There's nothing to show. But if one of y'all listening picks up one of these courses and makes something that's life-changing for all of us, well, guess what? We all win. And that could have sparked from here, Talking in Bits, could have sparked from Thriller, could have sparked from anywhere. But the fact that Pleb Labs is providing that for you cannot be, unnoticed. It needs to go out unnoticed. So you could take this as a show, but it's not. It's just realness. We need to win. We need the loudmouths like me, and then we need the quiet workers and builders. And that's what we're doing here. That wraps up Solo Rip 35. This is my first one here in Pleb Labs, Thriller Studios. It's been amazing. Car is always welcoming. I'll expect to be here doing all of these here. You guys let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, you know where to find us. You can stream us some sets on Breeze or Fountain. But like I said earlier, those are just the easy plugs for you to be able to onboard and load up some sets. We want to keep podcasting 2.0 decentralized. Check out CurioCaster. Check out Podverse. Check out all that stuff. It all leads to the same thing. You guys supporting your favorite shows so that your favorite shows can continue. Bitcoin TV is where you get this 4K content. And if you guys are still on legacy media outlets, you need to hurry up and get away from that because the algorithms are making a boatload of money off of you, right? On Podcasting 2.0, nobody's making any money off of you because there's no algos. You like it, you pay for it, right? Or you stream some sats. You don't like it, you don't do anything. But over there, even if you listen to something you don't like, some type of algorithm is going to tag your ass and they're going to start recommending some nonsense that you don't even need to listen to. So pay attention to that. Get away from legacy media outlets. Get away from the YouTubes of the world. But if you are there, then go ahead and flirt with the algorithm. Rate, share, and subscribe. That's how that stuff works. Don't ask me how the mathematics of it works. It just does. So appreciate y'all as always. Car, I appreciate you, good sir. Catch y'all later.